Hi guys, it's Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. Today we're going to be playing with one of the stamp sets that's in the box of the month from Not Too Shabby, and that is this lovely one. This one is called A Little Hello. You can see the sentiment, so there is a sentiment that says a little hello, and it's got these real pretty little hummingbirds and florals. So I'm going to start off by just stamping these guys out. Let's see how that does. And there we go. I think these look lovely. Okay, so for my background, I'm going to do something I don't really do very often, but we're going to give it a shot. First, I'm going to do a bit of masking around the edges. So I'm going to mask off about an inch. Okay, so now that I've got that masked off, and it looks like I do have, well, I'm going to trim the edges anyway, so we're going to go with that. I'm also going to use something else that's in the box of the month, and that is the striped honeycomb background stencil. This was designed by Crafty Owl, and I'm going to basically put it kind of at an angle, a little bit offset, because I don't want the lines to be exactly straight. And just tack that down with a couple of magnets. And now I'm going to go over it. I think I want to do mostly purple, but I've got my blue blending brush out because I can add a little bit of blue in to darken it up if it doesn't look as dark as I'd like, right? And this purple is kind of a little bit to the reddish side. So I'm going to just go in and just add some purple over that entire area. So I've got a masked area that I am stenciling over. And I think I do want some blue. I do want it a little bit darker than that because this is really, really pale purple. I mean, pixie dust is a nice shade, but I also know that with these blending brushes, and I love these blending brushes exactly for this reason, the colors don't go down really, really dark most of the time. So I'm just going to bring in a little bit more, but bring in a little bit of the blue down here, and that's going to, oh, I think I'm going to just leave it as a gradient. So that means I'm going to bring in some more of the purple from the top, and then I've got more of the blue from the bottom, and that is going to look really, really cool. I also like to go lighter before I start going darker because I never know for sure how much ink is going to go down. Like you don't really know for sure how much is still on the brush from your previous use. Okay, so let's take a look at that. And I like it. I do like that background. So this is going to go off to the side because it needs to be cleaned. And since this is water reactive ink, it's going to just wash off with some water without any kind of problem. Speaking of water reactive, let's use a little bit of water on here and give it a little bit of a splatter effect. So I've got a little bit of water splatter there. And next I'm going to add a little bit of gold splatter using a DIY shimmer spritz. Okay, I'm going to say that is probably enough. Okay, so I let that dry and I heat set it a little bit. It's probably not 100%. But I'm going to go ahead and lift off the tape. Now you do want to make sure that your panel is dry enough for you to lift that, because you could, because of the paper being wet, you could cause it to rip. But I'm going to be very, very gentle and very careful. So going very slow. And I think I could have gone with a thinner border around it, but I still think that turned out really, really nice. So next I'm going to be cutting out my images. These are all, like I said, they're all black and white, all stamped out in black ink, and I'm just going to fussy cut, leaving a little border around it. That means it doesn't have to be perfect, and nobody will know that they aren't designed to be that way, right? So just going ahead and leaving that little line, that little offset all around it as I cut them out. And that's one reason why I love these scissors. These scissors are ones that they can get into the more narrow spots. Like if you really wanted to cut real close to the line, you could definitely do that with these, and they're spring. So it doesn't take quite as much work on your wrist. So I've got one of my hummingbirds done, and I've got a second one of my flowers done. So I've got 2 images cut out so far. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use yet, but let's go ahead and take a look and see what it'll look like with just these 2 on this specific background. So I'm going to go ahead and work with these 2 images. Let's trim the panel down just a little bit. And I'm thinking that that may be a little bit too much white. So what I'm going to do, again, taking my purple tape, I'm going to tape off right at the score line. And I'm going to go direct to paper. Okay, so now we have a bit of a border that is the opposite of what's on the card, as long as we put it down in the right spot. So to make sure that everything is kind of blended, because I do have, these are a little bit harsh on the edges, let me grab some more of this purple ink and try to blend it out a little bit. And I'm going to say that that is going to be good enough. And I think I'm going to also bring in a little bit of blue just to try to get rid of that harsh line at the edge. To kind of get a little bit of a blend there. So next I'm going to pick up my card base and clean up underneath so I don't get that ink all over everything. And I think I am also going to add a little bit of splatter. Just like we did the center part of that card, including a little bit with my gold. Oops, got a little bit too much on there, but that is totally fine. So we're going to let that dry, and then we can start putting our card together. So I'm not sure why, but I lost some of the recording on that. So I'm going to have to go back and check and see what I missed. But I did do that nice background, and I've got everything popped up on some foam. And then I went ahead and stamped out one of the sentiments. This one says, "You are amazing." And I stamped that out in Gina K Designs Amalgam ink. I'm going to add a little bit of foam to the back of that one and pop it up as well. So it's going to be, everything's going to have that little bit of dimension. And I'm going to just put this one off to the side right about here. And that is going to finish up this card using Not Too Shabby Shop's A Little Hello stamp set that is included in the box of the month from April 2023. You guys be sure to check out this playlist over here to see more videos where I'm using Not Too Shabby Shop products, and I will talk to you soon. Bye guys.